Not enough minerals. Insufficient Vespene gas. Additional supply depots required. Landing sequence interrupted. Unacceptable landing zone. Not enough energy. Base is under attack. Your forces are under attack. Research complete. Add-on complete. Nuclear launch detected. Abandoning auxiliary structure. Upgrade complete. Nuclear missile ready.
Well, I wasn't expecting to make a video so soon after I made a few of them on the channel recently, but this is something I've been wanting to talk about. And well, looks like Nick is having a crash out today, along with Elijah Schaefer. Very interesting that both of them are having a pretty rotten day. Haven't really attributed it to anything else aside from the fact that Nick has got to be obviously a Fed or something. Like there's just no way. And I never liked him when he first started showing up on 4chan, but on mostly on Poll. And then it makes a little bit more sense when you see that he has these people that are on his team on Twitter that just endlessly promote him, and like he's got like it seems like he's got botted likes because he there's no way that he just goes on this generational run out of nowhere after being so deemed toxic for the longest time, and then just gets invited on all of these shows and these people that act exactly the same way as the Trump bots, where they just, no matter what he does, he's infallible. And they support everything that he's done. And I've been saying that I mean, there's so much evidence that specifically Nick is a closeted catboy loving um, fake white supremacist. I'm not myself a white supremacist, by the way, but uh, this guy goes in and gets lumped in with them, and then decides that he's gonna be a white supremacist one day, and then he's like, "No, no, no, I'm a Mexican. I never said I was. I'm America first, and I would never say that I was white supremacist." Then he like pushes how cool Hitler was. Then it's like Hitler had aura, and then he disavows Hitler, and then he goes and says that he likes Stalin, says he has aura, which is I hate that term, and just never actually has an actual like stance. And the people that were like pushing him and follow him are probably the most weak, annoying, like just bad examples of what young men should try to aspire to be. And it really got me annoyed about 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when like the incredibly gay seven got together and went to that club. And I know I'm very jealous that I wasn't invited, on the party van to go and hang out with a Somali or Nigerian or whatever the hell he is, and then a self-hating Mexican closeted gay fed, and then a guy that does meth, encourages young kid men to do, or boys to do meth and whack themselves in the chin to get a better jawline, wears shoulder pads, um, tells people to go and wear like lifted shoes. It's just such an embarrassment. And then you've got, Andrew Tate having his fallout about that month where he really does not perform well in his fight after declaring that he was such a great fighter, which uh, you know, I guess at least he went in the ring, but these guys just are like the worst examples. It's got to be a push to go and just be bad examples and just ruin what's left of generally what was a white society in America. And then cling on, you know, now we have so many mixed kids, which is it's whatever, but like now they're getting brought into this and looking up to this. So like it's essentially an attack on any last vessels of testosterone left in this country that they didn't wipe out with the Vietnam Wars, the World Wars. Um, it seems like every single war that they throw upon the Americans, it decreases the testosterone because they sent all of the high testosterone fighters over there and then leave us with a bunch of dainty queens. And he's not the only one. There's a guy that I really can't stand named Elijah Schaefer who's having a hell of a week. He was having a rough time about a month or two ago as well. Let's start off with Nick. This video that really set it off. Actually, let's play this one here.
That Nerd Fuentes went on a date with some homosexual fellow named Catboy something. I can't remember what the guy's full name is. Nick goes on a date with the guy and they live stream it the whole time and he's all smiling and turning pink and blushing and all that good stuff. And I said to the people, I said, he's just like a Roy Cohn. He's one of these guys who pretends to be straight, never has a woman around him, never has a fiance, never has kids, and it's because he knows he'll lose a significant base of support if he comes out of the closet. And then a good number of white guys are in the comments like, well, you know, he's right about the small hats. It's okay if he's not straight. You know, what about the small hats? I'm like, see, there's your problem right there, is that you have no morality. You're a degenerate. And we have so many degenerates and we need to clean them out. That's why I say 10% of the black population we need to eradicate. I'll take care of this. And probably a good portion of the white population needs to be eradicated as well.
So yeah, we could both admit there's bottom feeders among our race. As far as Nick, I don't think he's gay, but I do think he should be getting married, having kids. If he's a right-wing commentator, it's kind of like it seems like the smart thing to do.
So the other day I was listening to Jake Shields and it was like, let's see, he started to kind of disavow Nick Fuentes for the merch that he made that was mimicking Epstein's pullover. And oh, by the way, in that clip, that was Jake Shields heavy breathing into the mic. That was not me. So don't think that I was going. But anyway, so I've hated Nick for quite a long time. And this right here, this is one piece of evidence. This is a text conversation with, I guess the person called themselves Lolly Socks, but this is the person that the black gentleman was referring to in that clip just now. He goes by Catboy Cammy, and a lot of groypers are obsessed with anime and pretending to be girls on Twitter or having like a girl anime avatar on Twitter. And Catboy Cammy was apparently a gay prostitute in Australia that wears cat ears and is I guess a cat boy. And sorry that you had to know this if you didn't already. And so he went and hung out with him on kind of like a date. And I mean, look at that look. I've never given another man, no matter how much I liked him, that fucking look. I mean, I don't know. That is, and that's not the first time I've seen Nick give that look to another man. So then we've got right here, this is kind of what alerted me to it, is Jake Shields quoted, I ignored I ignored him being homosexual. I know things that I'm not sure I'll share, but we all know this is true. We all know we just liked what he was saying, explained Shields. And in another video that he was just doing recently, Jake said, he kind of was breaking things off with Nick after he had a phone call with him and said that he really didn't appreciate the Epstein merch, and Nick kind of started attacking him on Twitter, and then of course the gapers all started following suit. This is him losing his shit right here, and I guess I don't know what group chat this is, but doesn't seem like a lot of people are on his side. And this is him turning on the Goyim because in the Epstein files, they used the term Goyim, so that was getting pretty popularized. So here's Nick.
And I got to be honest with you, the Goyim are really pissing me the fuck off. So much so, I want to switch teams.
Oh, that's weird. You want to switch teams, huh? Because everybody kind of assumed you already had.
I'm thinking about changing sides. The Goyim are pissing me off. And I think the Goyim need to shut the fuck up a little bit. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Goyim be Goyim. Listen. Niggas be niggaing. Jews be Jewing. Goyim be Goying. Myth of the noble Goy. Hey, Goy, why don't you shut the fuck up?
Oh, that's an interesting thing to say. And so one of this guy on Twitter, by the way, this is one of his follower promoters, Grimaldis, he's probably the one I hate the most out of all of these Nick Fuentes bots. But I can't wait till he gets doxxed and people get to see what he looks like. But let me show you some of the other people that are part of Nick's team. So this is Nick here with this guy named Ali Akbar. And let's see if we can get you a couple more pictures to get a good feel of the rest of... Here's another one. Here's a good one to him. So that guy that was next to Nick just now, he's part of the Stop the Steal organization, and he apologizes after being accused of asking teen boys for dick pics, and that's a Daily Beast article. Then we've got where is the other one? Sorry, I have these named. What did I call that one? Because that's not the first time. Where the hell did I put that? Oh, okay. Did I not put it into... There we go, right here. Okay, sorry for that. So yeah, this was a little bit kinder. It didn't say what kind of teens it was. It kind of is interesting that the teen boys is a little bit worse when they put that in the Daily Beast article. So that's one. And then we've got another one of these. By the way, all of these guys, they promote like a white ethno state essentially, and they hide behind these little anime avatars. So here's one of them. This one is really big on Twitter. This one right here, Asuka Groiper, and let me go ahead and show you the avatar that this person uses. Kind of just a teenage anime girl, right? Smoking a cigarette, just chilling. Well, this is the guy that's behind that face. that avatar. So that's a pretty interesting choice of avatar. I don't think I would choose that for myself. Then we have also another clip. This is where he really started to lose a lot of followers. Sorry. Oh, no, not that one. Where do we have that one? Okay, that's what I called it.
But Jeff Epstein, not a pedophile. But you're not ready for that conversation. All of his victims, 14 to 17. That's not pedophilia. But y'all niggas ain't ready for that conversation.
So I am so tired, by the way, of white people or whatever, Zoomers, calling me the N-word with an A. I really don't appreciate that. And it's really, I find that very just annoying.
Today, Nick Fuentes goes onto X and says, my application for Kick partnership program was approved on Wednesday. By today, Monday, Kick terminated my account from their partnership program for no reason. Now, here's the interesting part. Do you ever think that maybe with everything that's going on regarding the Epstein files, it's probably not the best idea to not only release merch pertaining to Jeffrey Epstein, but also claiming that he isn't as big of a monster as he was. They have a very firm policy against having pedos on the platform. I thought many people would know this.
Yeah, so if that wasn't bad enough, then I don't know if you guys remember. Let me go, I think, yeah, let's do this. We'll play this one first so you can really get the full effect of why this is really not great.
Well, you have to ask yourself why no major news media outlet will cover this next story, why no major news outlet will interview our next guest. Why? Because it probably goes against their narrative. What happened to our next guest? A decorated U.S. Marine, member of law enforcement, who posted a tweet around January 6th. What happened after that? The FBI showed up at his house, flashbang grenades, arrested, an American hero arrested for tweets. He wasn't even at the Capitol that day. It turned his life upside down. And we wanted to have Alfredo Luna on the show today to talk all about this because it's a much bigger story than just his tweets. Alfredo, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for being here.
Okay. So that's pretty crazy. You know, obviously some of you already heard before where people who weren't even at the Capitol got arrested for tweets entailing January 6th, that they weren't even there. And then they went and hunted down little Mimas, you know, and gave them life in prison and waterboarding them, waterboarding someone's grandma. But then you got something like this.
Keep moving towards the Capitol. It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Keep marching and don't relax. Never relax. Yeah. They're evacuating the Capitol. They're evacuating. Break down the barriers
Man, that's pretty wild. Because he didn't seem to have any problems in his life. In fact, he seemed to just get bigger and bigger. And in fact, YouTube let him come back on. And that, I don't know, that's a pretty strange thing to happen. Whereas you've got a former cop and detective that used to fight crime gets swatted. Let's go ahead and play that video of him going through this.
Part of this, and when I was doing detective work, I was working in the gang capacity, doing undercover work with gangs. So you always have this kind of belief in the back of your mind: will they ever find out where you live, these gang members? And so that morning, the alarm's going off, and it is by the grace of God and God alone that on my nightstand at night is where I always keep my duty pistol. And for whatever reason, this night I didn't grab my pistol, I grabbed my phone. And as I'm going to the alarm panel, which is right near the front door, and I'm turning off the alarm panel, my fiance sees we ran a house with textured, it's like an Adobe house with textured glass on the front door. And she sees all these red lights on there, and I look, and she's like, get away from the door. And so by this time I turn off the alarm, I get off. Now my phone goes off at the same time. And I answer it, and it's dispatcher saying, this is the FBI. We have your home surrounded, and you need to come out. This is the morning of my son's birthday. This is how my son became a teenager. He was going from 12 to 13. And my stepdaughter's crying, so I get everybody in the hallway. I said, listen, it's the cops. These are the good guys. I'm sure it's a misunderstanding. We're going to figure it out. It's going to be okay. Just you guys.
And you didn't have any idea what this was about at this moment.
Not a clue. This is only 9 days after January 6th. This is at the very beginning of what we saw end up becoming a rash of raids throughout our country.
So you have no idea that this is related to a tweet. I mean, this sounds like the United Kingdom. I mean, people are waking up in the United Kingdom right now with police at their door over social media tweets.
Man, that's pretty interesting, huh? Can't say I've ever experienced this before. So the here's another example of the people. I just want to give you guys another feel of the people that are following Nick Fuentes. Here's another example. San Antonio man threatened Turning Point USA conference, sentenced to 5 years in prison. There he is, standing next to Mr. Aura himself. And also he San Antonio man was who investigators say sympathizes with incel or involuntary celibate ideology, was arrested on charges of threatening a conservative student conference and having child pornography on his phone, according to federal criminal complaint. So this guy was threatening TPUSA. This was in May 2nd of 2024. And wow, so he threatens him 2 years after his arrest for the CP. That's pretty cool. And then he takes that picture with press credentials hanging out there with Mr. Aura. So that's pretty cool. Then let's see, what else do we have? There's a lot of incriminating evidence about this kid. So here is one of the first things I ever saw about Nick. There we go, this one. So this one time, years ago, Nick got caught with you can kind of see it up there. It's blurred, but it's a page open with adult material involving transgender. And what happened was, you can find the clip of it. What he's doing right there in that clip with all those windows open, he was going through his metrics, trying to show off to everybody, and forgot that he had a window open of trans porn, and ended up getting caught red-handed live on his stream. So you can look that up. He actually did do that. So Mr. Aura hates gays, supremacist, whatever the hell these people are, dude. They're so gross. They're so gross. And this whole circle, I mean, they're all like this. Because this is this clavicular guy that recently ran over somebody, which was, I liked that at first. I thought that was kind of fun. But then we have the people, like the people that you bring around you and kind of circle around you, kind of represent, you know, who you are. And all my subscribers are great people. None of you is a pedophile. All of you are straight shooters and 100% successful. So I don't expect anyone, any one of you to be like this.
I tried this shit the other day. What up, homie?
Yo, you think you can sign my album?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Big fan, man.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, bro, we've been on your ass since the moment you were streaming, since November.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
You think we can take a stream photo?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
I bet. All right, on the count of 3. Nigga, Hail Hitler. 3, 2, 1. Nigga, Hail Hitler.
Oh my god.
Love you, Cloud. What do you have?
Bro.
Honestly, he wasn't supposed to say that. But,
That's so cringe, bro.
Yeah, yo, but I have a bunch of friends and family that have been watching, and I'm like known in Orlando as like the Asian Mogger. I would have the honor if you could verify me as the Orlando Asian Mogger.
Bro.
Honor is mine.
I don't know. You guys are kind of cringe, bro. It's just gonna be real, you know.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Fucking kind of cringe. That was like the most like, gay thing ever.
I couldn't even mute, bro. That was fucking.
That caught me.
That was amazing. I hope that my channel never grows big enough that ends up being me. Holy shit. That was nuts. Is that an ant? Sorry, there's an ant on my screen. And so I was thinking about, you know, because my schizo brain goes and forms connections between different things. And I was thinking about, hey, on January 6th, you know, I know another guy in that circle that he didn't get in any trouble for being at January 6th. Get out of here. Sorry. I don't know where that ant came from. It was like a carpenter ant. But there was another guy that didn't get in trouble for being at January 6th, who happened to also be at the Kyle Rittenhouse shooting and documented all of that. And that was Mr. Elijah. And so I was like, I wonder what's going on with Elijah. Well, wouldn't you know it, today also, next to Nick Fuentes, Elijah Schaefer is having a crash out. And he was also at January 6th. And how I know he was at January 6th is because this is him tweeting from Nancy Pelosi's office. Breaking on at 2:44 p.m. I am inside Nancy Pelosi's office with the thousands of revolutionaries who have stormed the building. To put in perspective how quickly staff evacuated, emails are still on the screen alongside a federal alert warning members of the current revolution. Well, that's odd, because he didn't get in trouble for that either. But this gentleman, who's an actual like police officer who tweeted, ends up getting swatted, essentially. And so did a lot of people. And some grandmas that were just walking, you know, shuffling their walker through. And, you know, some other autistic kids. And you know who else didn't get in trouble for quite a long time? basically the equivalent of Black Christian, who mastermind the pipe bombs at J6. You know, if you saw this kid, I don't have a picture of him, but like he's Black Christian. Can you imagine not catching that kid for 5 years, and then all of a sudden you need a distraction? So then, I really do not like Elijah Schaffer, and so I was looking at what was going on with him, and well, actually, so a month ago, his BMW that he bought, some $90,000 M4 with his firearm inside of it, gets stolen, and it just disappears. And he posts about it on Twitter, and he has like his insurance had some weird gap thing that didn't cover it, and it disappeared. And he was panicking on Twitter about it, and it started to make sense why his car disappeared. I'll let you understand that in a bit, because today on Twitter, he puts this out. I do not know where my wife and kids are, and I cannot get a hold of them. They are filed as missing persons. They have gone missing. Last enforcement confirmed someone in my household set me up. They planted drugs and said I was a criminal. This will be a public trial by the FBI. So I can't imagine his kids setting him up. And Elijah, I've watched off and on, had some odd, he's had some odd drunk or burnout videos that he's posted onto Twitter and then deleted later on. But obviously people are recording everything that he does. Recently in the news, he was getting sued by Kash Patel for saying that his girlfriend was a Mossad agent, and for like $5 million, which is kind of interesting. Elijah used to work for The Blaze, which is a very pro-Israel outlet. Then he worked a little while for Gavin McInnes, who also is very pro-Jew, pro-Israel. And so this is another post by him. I am a victim of serious targeted felony crimes. I am not suicidal. They have kidnapped my family. They have stolen my money. I will bring justice. I need the public to know. I am in Virginia. The government is aware. I believe the FBI is trying to destroy my life and kill me. Okay. And then let's go ahead and play. Actually, he recovers his car. That was today. He recovered his car. And then at the same time, he's also posting that picture about his wife and kids gone. So the same day that he gets back his car, after he traveled out there, his wife and kids are gone. And he's saying, my stolen car was recovered by U.S. Customs. I am the victim of a serious set of felonies, including gun theft. Someone from my inner circle is involved. This is an international probe. I do not know who I pissed off. I have evidence and will prosecute. Can't say anything else. I'm guessing that what happened is they were able to go and lure him out there so that his wife can escape with the children. And also, because he leaves his firearm in the vehicle, they could also secure the firearm while he's not there. That would be my educated guess as to why they were able to set up the insurance company to not recover the vehicle and then not be able to help him, because they were able to get him close to FBI headquarters and get him far away from his wife and children, because Elijah he got fired from The Blaze for allegedly groping Sarah Gonzalez in a drug-fueled little escapade. And Whether that's true or not, I mean, I don't trust any of these people, but I've seen a lot of his crash out videos where he posted himself like drunk and burned out by the pool, drinking alone. He at one point when he had his show on the Blaze, he mysteriously came in to the show with a black eye, and somebody said, well, they brought it up, and he only addressed it. He never actually told what happened. He just said that someone threw a black dildo at his face. I don't know. I don't know what he was trying to imply with that, or if it was just a joke. But he never addressed why he came into the show one time with a black eye, and he's definitely gives off the closeted homo thing, because I mean, this is where he started off. Let me go ahead and pick up this picture. This is another one in this group that I just can't stand is Fleckus. So this is when Elijah used to interview people with pink hair and purple glasses. And today, now he's uber masculine, and he's turned his life around to God, and he also is on testosterone treatment. Elijah is 32 years old. I'm 38 now, and I've never once needed testosterone treatment. My hair is still pretty full. In fact, I mean, I've got plenty. If I start losing hair, I can start plucking hair off my eyebrows if I really need to. But this is just the state of where we are with men, like examples of what we're supposed to be looking up to. And so I might be a little bit all over the place, but let me go ahead and play this this video that at the same time today that Elijah posted the kids are gone thing and then him recovering his car. He posts this video that he ends up deleting, and it's very, very weird.
No one believes me that my life doesn't make any sense right now, but this is the way back to my hotel room, and it doesn't make any sense. I now have to leave my hotel room because of a flood. This is very weird. But what's going on here, okay? It's very bizarre. So there's some, I guess, some water moving here. Okay, cool. Won't walk in that. My feet are wet. And then we got some flooding, I guess.
Is this The Shining? Like, I feel like I'm hallucinating watching this.
Okay, it's falling on me. But what even is going on?
What video game is this from?
Right? There's a thing, okay? At least I can like take a seat and actually rest. But then I have some what? Some Diet Dr. Pepper?
That's interesting. And now your kids are gone with your wife. That's an odd video. So this is kind of the crash out season, I guess, the end of the generational run, where Nick Fuentes and Elijah Schaefer, Clavicular, Andrew Tate, we're all getting rid of them, along with Nick Fuentes. I guess they've just lost their purpose in this. Was there any other beautiful videos? Just another picture, I guess, of Elijah being accused of using coke. So this is a response to his post. Bullshit. You said your family was missing. Now it's all about the car. That's I probably wouldn't give a shit about my car. I've had incidents with I have a decent car, and I was more concerned about my family when I had issues with somebody trying to steal my car. And so I'm glad you got the car back, but you've been on a coke bender and the missus took the kids. Coke is for homos, bro. Most pointless drug I ever did. Absolute weak piss. Shut the fuck up, you projecting narcissist asshole. Sorry you did Coke and fucked up your life. Is he reading this to himself? I don't do drugs. I'm a dad and I'm very concerned, but have been advised by attorneys not to not make any more statements due to the criminal actions against me and sensitive nature. So why did you even respond, dude? It only had like 73 likes. What do you give a shit, dude? Like, why did you even respond to that? So that either was meth, or Coke. I think he's admitted, well, he's definitely said a few times that he likes doing Coke, plenty of times with the boys. He had supposedly, I mean, I don't give a shit what you do, but I don't also preach that I'm some saint. And he also said maybe within the last year, he's been married for quite a while, about talking about like going out and doing Coke in Vegas. And there's been allegations, though it was by some little fruity gay guy, fruity black guy, that said that Elijah cheated on his wife over in Las Vegas at one of these right-wing events, which, if they have that understanding, that's fine. But I don't think that they do. And especially when he preaches this right-wing godly lifestyle, especially when he's proclaiming to have joined the Orthodox Church and wearing a cross around his neck now. So I think that's about it. I hope that was, at the same time, I'm sorry, there was one more picture of him. So, what did that cringe Asian kid say in the video with Clavicular? He said, white ass N-words going hard as fuck. Well, that's what Elijah said also. And in this tweet, I believe that was today as well. I don't have the date. My people got my back, never felt more supported. The right players saw what's happening and they responded. The corrupt DC swamp has no idea what coalition they've awakened. I'm in safe company. We're going to fight back and we're going to win. America first. I assume that refers to the fact that he mentioned recent also that he has a safe house in El Salvador, and he's been working with the Salvadorian government. And he made a bunch of videos maybe 6 months ago with some crypto guys. Very, what was the spyware guy that disappeared? McAfee. Acting a lot like him. And I have a family member who's very successful. Elijah's very successful. And both of them like to indulge in the amphetamines. And one thing that my family member, who's very successful, used to do when he would go on these benders is disappear or act very odd, and family wouldn't know where he went for a while, and have these odd little journeys that he'd go off on. So I'm seeing a little bit of a familiar pattern with that. All these people, this is why, like, I lose subscribers all the time when I tell people about how much of a, like, not right-wing, like, purist that I think people think I try to portray. And I'm right-wing in the sense of, like, anarchist mindset, but I'm not going to tell you something that I'm not. So I don't feel like I try to come off as some kind of purist. I'm guilty. I think most people, most men, you just admit that you're kind of a degenerate piece of shit. That's the state of being a man. any one of these guys that like has these right wing, Christ first, America first, uh, portrayals of themselves are some of the most darkest figures. And I learned that in my church when I used to go to church. These people that couldn't be honest, it would make them uncomfortable that I was honest about like my flaws, and they would portray themselves as great until you start being in the church circle and finding out that they were cheating on their wives or obviously a homosexual and probably a pedophile and disappearing to do drugs. I witnessed that a few times. And always the most angry, like accusatory people always had some really evil shit. And I'm not really, I don't think I'm falling into that that trap of, you know, well, put the mirror on yourself, because I don't like, I've told all my flaws. Like, there's nothing to blackmail me with. So, like, you can just find out that I'm a degenerate. That's how I've first became kind of known on YouTube. I just accept the fact that I'm flawed, and I work on myself, and I treat my family, I think, pretty good. I try to help my wife lead a life that I think not a lot of women really get to enjoy. I try to give my kids everything that I have, and I appreciate just my wife taking care of the kids. That's all. And I work to do that. And I enjoy doing that. But I'm also like, you know, I've got a pretty dirty past. And my wife, I think, appreciates the fact that I'm pretty honest about everything that I've indulged in and try to minimize in my current days. And I see a like a huge benefit in my life of having my children be kind of a guiding light for me to go and aim towards being a better person. But I don't tell people that I'm better than them unless I'm being an asshole and just like being sardonic. But I don't truly feel that I'm better. In fact, it's the way that I usually can develop a relationship with most people is I tell them, you know, my flaws, and then that kind of lets them open up and feel, you know, safe talking to me about, you know, hey, I have these problems or whatever. And that's kind of how like I've always kind of operated. But these guys have a dark, sinister, like evil to them. And I think I've provided quite a bit of evidence to that. I mean, these people, like, these are pedophiles. Okay. You're not going to catch me with that. You're not going to catch me on a drug fueled bender. You know, I went and streamed drunk a few times, but I haven't drank since then. I was just bored. I didn't have anything to do, and I was in the midst of moving. So I just went drinking and driving on a driving simulator. But I don't really drink at all. I've never done coke, never done anything really, but MDMA a few times, smoked weed quite a bit. But and then I had pill issue years and years ago, but I never let it influence, you know, people outside of my life. I never, definitely didn't want it to like affect my family before I even met my wife. But these people just, the more you just kind of hide this darkness that's in you, it just leads to this evilness, man. Like, there's no way, like, nobody, I don't understand like how these people were online covering for all of these guys. These are all just bad people. It's really just, ugh. It gives me the ick, man. So I think I've gone droning off enough, but it's a video I've been kind of wishing to make. I think I'm gonna leave you with this this beautiful this video is I found this made me this made me so happy. All right, I'll end with this video here. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Have a good night.
Jeff is so based.
Based is good, right?
Yes, Daddy.
You look absolutely irresistible.
You're not so bad yourself.
Come here, you. When Nick does well, I say good goy.
I like that.
All right, good night, everybody.